So what I ran up to grab was this little doodad. It was actually funny. I don't know if they were telling the truth or not, but the story's funny, so I'll just tell you. They reached out and they were like, so it's just like a DM, and it's like, so confession time, longtime fan, viewer, blah, blah, blah. They do the regular introduction. And then they're like, I feel bad. I bought a bunch of these PlayStation Portals to scalp them. And he's like, I've sold a bunch of them. I made a bunch of money. But I feel really bad for scalping them. So do you want me to just send you one? I feel like that might make up for it. I was like, I mean, I'm not going to say no if you want to send it to my business address. Like, I won't stop you if that will make you feel better. Like, okay, I'll try it. Because I've been very critical of this thing. People have like, when this was initially announced, I was like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't really understand the point of it. There's a lot of weirdness with it. I just don't understand why somebody would pay, I think it's $200 is what it is. So yeah, I was just like kind of weirded out by it. So he sent it off. I was expecting him to not bother, but it's real. He did send it off. It is the real thing. And how it works is pretty straightforward. There's like a charging port on the bottom. There's the big display. There is like a headphone jack if you have somehow wired headphones still. Couple of insane things. It, as far as I can tell, does not support Bluetooth audio. So you just straight up can't use like your own headphones with it unless you buy PlayStation specific headphones with the PlayStation Link or whatever. Bafflingly stupid. Absolutely insane that that's not supported. I don't know how on earth anybody could argue with a straight face that that's not extremely anti-consumer. Like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane that anybody like puts up with it. But yeah, I mean, they still say that. So that's one thing. Beyond that, there's really not much to it. It's basically a DualSense controller split in two. So it has haptic feedback, adaptive triggers and stuff. And then there's a power button and volume rockers. When you power it on, it looks like this. You press the PlayStation button. It tries to connect to whichever PlayStation you've put it on, which in this case is this PlayStation 5 over here, which is wired into my router and everything. And then it does a little connecting to Studio PS5 because it's the portal, right? So the little portal is on the screen, ready to play. Hit X, you tap it, and then voila, Final Fantasy 16, and you're actually in the game. Just like that, streaming. A couple more insane things. I brought this with me on a trip recently. You guys know I was traveling like over Christmas. This thing does not have a built-in browser, which is something we talked about on stream before, meaning you can't log into like a Wi-Fi that requires you to acknowledge terms and conditions. So if you go to a hotel, you can't log into the hotel Wi-Fi with this. You just can't. Because this thing doesn't have streaming through PlayStation Now or Plus or Cloud or whatever it's called now. It only streams from your home console. Now, when this does work and you can connect, so like when I was visiting my family, I tried it on their Wi-Fi a state over. So they live a state away, and I was able to stream from this PlayStation 5 in the studio to this over their Wi-Fi, and it actually worked really well. I was very impressed. It had a couple of stuttery moments and like a couple moments, but for a third-person game like Red Dead 2, which is what I was testing on it, it ran surprisingly well. So I was like, okay, I actually get it. But it like, yeah, so they did add something where you can do it through your phone now with the PlayStation app. And so like there's ways that you can get around it. But natively on the device, there's no way to just do it, which I found bafflingly stupid. Beyond that, there are also other workarounds, let's be honest. Like if you have a Samsung phone, little spoiler, you can like daisy chain Wi-Fi basically, or share Wi-Fi using this, which I used in Orlando when I was trying to upload the Assassin's Creed Mirage video, but my laptop kept disconnecting from the hotel Wi-Fi. So I connected to the hotel Wi-Fi with this and then shared the Wi-Fi from this to the laptop, and somehow it bypassed the hotel's like bandwidth limitations or something. I don't really know why that worked, but it did. So little spoiler alert, if you have an S22 phone or a Samsung phone, apparently you can do that. But you'd be able to do that, like connect to the Wi-Fi on like at the Airbnb or at the hotel through your phone and share the Wi-Fi that way. Or now there's something you can do on your phone to try and bypass it that way. Beyond that, it's just like exactly what it looks like. I mean, it's a display that projects what's on that PlayStation to this, and then you can control it. As you'd expect with remote streaming to a device, there's a little bit of latency. There's a little bit of like slight delay. If you're playing third person games, it's really not that bad. Like The Last of Us or God of War or something, it's not bad. But if you're playing probably first person shooters, anything with like really quick reaction times, it's not going to work very well. I did try it with a Wi-Fi hot or a mobile hotspot off my phone as well. So we were like in the airport waiting for our flight, and I was like, oh, I'll try it here. So I pulled out my phone, created a mobile hotspot, and I tried connecting this to the mobile hotspot, and it worked pretty well. There were a couple of hitches here and there. The delay and the latency seemed way worse.
What up?
What up, Yokes? Good to see you, my friend. 25 months, Jesus Christ. 25 months of support on Twitch. That is madness. But yeah, so it worked okay over mobile hotspot. But if you're in the States, you need to make sure you have like the unlimited data, and you need the extra premium plan through like Verizon, which doesn't throttle you once you start streaming a lot of data, because this thing will eat up any data cap super quickly. But beyond that, it's more impressive than I thought. The video compression is actually very good. So it's not super like checkered or pixelated. I've never seen that. It seems like it'll drop frames before it gets really pixelated. 60 FPS gameplay on it, I don't think is very viable. It's really stuttery and it's not very good. Even in the same house, like playing this upstairs, like in bed or something, trying to play it at 60 frames, it's really stuttery and it throws me off. But 30 FPS gameplay works like a dream. So my stance, and the other thing, tapping the touchpad controls is really clunky. You have to tap this, but one tap doesn't actually activate it because they want to have the protection from like accidental touches, I guess. So you have to like quickly double tap it to do that, and it just doesn't work very well. I don't know why it works that way, but it does. And then when you're done with it, you just hit disconnect, put PS5 into rest mode, tap it, and then the portal closes and it's back to its own thing. Battery life, as far as I've seen, is actually pretty good. I haven't gotten it down to the point where it's died even while traveling, so that's cool. No cloud gaming was very surprising as well. That seemed like a big oversight because PlayStation has cloud gaming already. They have that. So the fact that you can't stream from that just seemed surprising. Yeah, all told, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but I still think it's insane that somebody would pay $200 for it. And especially when like your phone can do the PlayStation remote play with like a $30 adapter or controller combo thing off Amazon, where you have the PlayStation 5 controller and then this just mounts right on top of it. So you're holding the controller and it's like this, and you can do the same thing. Yeah, you won't have the same fluid experience, I don't think, but it's really hard to justify for $200 to me. And you guys know me. I love spending money frivolously. It's one of my passions, okay? It's one of my passions. But man, to the individual that sent me that, thank you. Your sins of scalping are absolved, my son. And you are cleared. Everybody else might not say you're cleared, but who knows? No Bluetooth. The no Bluetooth thing is the thing I just cannot fathom why anybody's putting up with that. That is baffling.
He took my thing.